adjective order than the word order. Now, in the context of word order, what I can recommend is practicing identifying the parts of speech. We have to identify the parts of speech. And I'm sure you know what the meaning of parts of speech is. Do you understand parts of speech?
No, teacher.
Oh, not exactly. Okay. Examples: nouns, verbs, adjectives, pronouns, prepositions, junctions, adverbs, etc. Right? All of these are parts of speech, different parts of speech. Right? We can identify in a sentence I, right? I, in the sentence, it is the subject, but in parts of speech, it is a pronoun. It is a personal pronoun, right? It is a subject pronoun, personal pronoun, object pronoun. Now, we shouldn't confuse these. Same thing, more American, more British. All right, here we go. I like children, right? I like children. Here, then we have the verb is like, and children is not, that's not the part of speech. The part of speech is a noun. It is a noun. Object, like this one, is the subject. I is the subject. That's its function in the sentence. In the sentence, it is the subject. But I is a pronoun, right? I is a pronoun. Let's not forget that. So we can identify these types of verbs, types of words, right? What is the parts of speech? And then very is an adverb, right? It's an adverb. Yes. And then much, it's another adverb. Yes, adverb. Sometimes the adverb modifies another adverb. Especially in the intermediate level. So we see the order. So there's always the subject and the noun, we can see are the subject and the object, are always nouns. The subject is a noun, the object is a noun. What is a noun? Now we have to know the definitions, right? For this we have to know the definition. What is a noun? Well, how would you say is the definition of a noun, please? Cesar? Yes?
Sustantivo, teacher.
Yes, that's the translation. How would you make a description of it? That's right. That's the translation. Is correct. But what would you say the description? How would you say what is a noun? Or in Spanish, this, and this, maybe this, or this. Right? That's about it. What is a noun? Because I is a noun. Children is a noun. Right? I is a pronoun. Children is a proper name. Nombre propio, complete name, right? Children. Maybe not being specific. The name of the person is more specific. Right? Yes, and coming. Both of them, not just one. For example. So that's what I recommend. The use of the identifying the types of words. This will help you understand the intention and the context a lot more easy, or a lot easier, we can say, actually, a lot easier, right? So that's the first one. The verb and the object. Here they're talking about the verb and the object. Yes. Now, not all of the verbs, talking about verbs is specifically, everyone has a specific thing. Nouns have singular and it has plural, right? Verb has the present and it has the past, right? Adjectives have the different types of adjectives that we're going to learn today, like the opinion adjective, wonderful, amazing, interesting, in my opinion. In your opinion, maybe it's boring, idiotic, and ridiculous, right? For example, it's about an opinion, really, perspective. So there's the different types of adjectives, and then we have an adjective about maybe the origin. The origin adjective would be the nationality in most cases. In most cases, right? For a person, it's the nationality. For an object, it's the origin, right? Like the glass, the cup was made in China, right? Its origin is Chinese. We could say in another way to give the example. All right, so yes, we have to see the different and the prepositions, talk about place or talk about time. Place or time, location or, space. Right? The conjunctions usually talk about contrasting. The adverbs talk about how we do something, right? So it's really important to, if we learn the part of speech, practice the part of speech, first we have to know what the each mean, right? What are the elements that it has? It's similar to Spanish, I mean, I'm sure, but in English, right? And then be able to identify them. That's the thing. It will help us to understand. All right, so that's the point with that. Now the next one is about the verbs specifically. Not all the verbs need an object. For example, I can say I run, period. This is a complete sentence. This is a complete sentence.
Okay.
I run. There is no object here. No object is necessary. Nothing needs to receive, or no one needs to receive this object after run. It's just the subject and the verb. That's the finish. The action finishes there. But it's a complete idea. I'm not giving a lot of information. It's not so much information. It's like, wow, so elegantly said. No, just to the point. Very informal. I run. What do you do? I run. Yeah, it depends on the personality. Maybe I don't want to say too much. Maybe I'm not in a good mood. Maybe I'm just thinking about something, and I just want to give a quick answer, right? To not to lose what I'm thinking about. I run, and I'm thinking about something else, right? For many reasons it could be, but it's a complete idea and a complete sentence. There is no object necessary, but I can put a period there. But if I change the verb and I say I throw, right? Period. This is not correct, right? This is not correct. That's the thing we have to see. It's not complete. It's not complete, and it's not a complete sentence. I throw. Yes. Something needs to receive this action, right? It's necessary. It doesn't sound good either. I run, maybe, but I throw, no, it's not. It can't be. It needs something. So I could throw a ball, maybe. Right? I throw a ball or a rock or an egg or whatever, right?
Okay, teacher.
So that's the one. It depends on the verb. That's the idea. It depends on the verb if it needs an object or it doesn't need an object. Some verbs can be in different contexts, both. Very few, but yes. Some have an object, some need transitive, intransitive. That's, I think, in a couple units still. In a couple units still. Now, with place and with time, we usually talk about the place and then the time. There's a party at my house at 10. Right? It's not 10 at my house. No, that just doesn't work. But my house at 10, it works. That combination. First the place, then the time. Right? There's a meeting downtown at 3:00, right? Say that. Like the example. Could you read the examples, please? These three.
Okay. She has been to Canada since April. They arrived at home early. You really shouldn't go to bed so late.
Right. The place where? To bed. When? The time, right? Late. Right? Where? Yes. Home. Okay. When? Early. Right? Where? Early. Canada. When? April. There it is. Exactly. So that's what I want you to notice. This usually now here it says very clearly. I want to emphasize this. It says usually. It doesn't say always. Okay, usually. Sometimes in a different context, we can have in a different order in a specific context. Okay? But usually, most times, it will be in the place and then the time. Okay, and that's with that. And now on the next one, this is really the objective here. Today we're going to introduce the different types of adjectives. The different types of adjectives, not only one. not only one adjective. You learned in, before about maybe comparative and superlative adjectives when you're making comparisons or talking about the maximum of something, right? In the superlative adjectives. Now, in this case, we're talking about the different types. We have opinion adjectives, size, right? Shape, condition, age, right? Color, this order: age first, then color, then pattern, then origin, then material, then purpose, and finally what they're describing, the noun. Normally, we don't put, all the adjectives in one sentence. If we usually put 3 or 4 maximum. If we put more, we should make another sentence. But in this case, it says the ugly, small, thin, dirty, old, red, striped Italian cotton sleeping bag. And yes, it makes a good description, but normally it's too many together in one sentence. But yes, maybe to make a joke or for emphasis or something, it could be, right? In this case, as the example, it could be the noun, that we know what the noun is. We always use the noun, right? In this case, what is the noun? A person, a place, and a thing, right? Did we cover that? In the next one, no, we actually didn't. Right? Now, what is a noun? We say a person, a place, a thing. A thing can be an animal. A thing can be an idea. A thing can be something physical. A thing can be just an experience, right? Something abstract. But I remember, it's a thing. It's a memory. It's a one. It's a thing, right? And that's yes. So it can be an animal. It can be an animal, obviously. So yes. So we know what a noun is, right? We know what a noun is. Or in the plural form. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing, because that's the characteristic of the noun, it has a singular and a plural form. So we say people, places, things.
Great, teacher.
So there we go. So yes, the place and the time. Now with the order adjectives, right? First, we start with the opinion, and then what we should remember is, well, now there are more. When I was learning it, it was only Auskommt, we used to say. Opinion, I guess this S could be doubled because of the size and then the shape. The size first and then the shape. It's a small, long, not a long, small, no. Small, long, small, thin. That's the shape. Circular, it's a shape. It's a huge circular disc in the air. It was a UFO, right? Something like that. But yes, the shape, and then the condition. It's working. It's broken. It's dirty. It's X-rated, right? Whatever it is, right? And then the age. The age, it could be old, it could be ancient, it could be young, it could be new, right? And then the color, obviously, the pattern, stripes, like my shirt, stripes, Italian, the origin, not the nationality. It doesn't say nationality, even though it could be in different contexts. Nationality, material, cotton, silk, metal, whatever it is, right? The material. The purpose, what is it used for? Why do we use it? What do we use it? Right? For example, if it's a knife, what type of knife is it? It's a hunting knife, and the purpose would be hunting. That's its purpose. It's a purpose adjective. ing, we also use an adjective. Let's not confuse. Do you know the difference, Cesar, between bored and boring? I'll give you a clue. They are both adjectives. Okay, both of them. We have 2 adjectives that we're comparing. So what would you say is the difference? If there is a difference. Is there a difference? I am bored.
Bored, I think, is aburrido, like in the past, and boring is aburriéndome o aburrido.
Aburrido, the
Some
translation.
one situation aburrido.
How? No, actually, it's the opposite. It's how you're feeling is the bored. I am feeling like this, right? But in this case, the focus is on the cause. The cause of the feeling. What caused the feeling?
The class.
And it's the cause of the feeling. That's the focus, right? It's boring because you're talking about something. You're making a description, right? About something, right? Being boring. This, or you can change it. Okay, but it's the cause.
Okay.
But the other one with the ed, it's the feeling, right? That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling. You say the teacher is bored. That's how the teacher is feeling. You say the teacher is boring. It's like, oh, he doesn't know, right? Something like that. It could be. It depends. Right? But yes, that's the difference. Both are adjectives, right? So the purpose of this, just so we remember that, because it finishes with ing does not mean it is a verb, right? It can be an adjective, or sometimes it can be a noun. It can be a noun, the ing, a gerund form. We use it to function as a noun. For example, swimming is an excellent, right?
Exercise.
Excellent sport, right? Yeah, swimming is an excellent sport, right? Or if we want to say swimming, they would not end. It's just excellent. Because uncountable exercise, uncountable noun, right? Exercise is excellent exercise. We could say that. We would change it, right? Change it a little bit. Swimming is excellent exercise. Is an excellent sport is a different, right? That would be the alternative. Both are okay. Right, good. So yes, in that case, swimming is talking about the sport, right? It's talking about the activity. It's a noun. Its function in the sentence is a noun. And since it has an ing, this is called a gerund. It's a gerund, right? Because it forms ing, but it serves as a noun. Or it's usually talking about an action or the activity that you're referring to, right? Not really the action, but the activity in the noun context. But it could be an action also in a different context. All right, so we have to be familiar with the adjectives. All right, now what happens if we put two adjectives of the same type together? For example, if it has two colors, right? It's white and purple, or it's white and yellow, or whatever color, right? But it has to be and. That's how we put two of the same of the same type in the same sentence. We have to separate them with and. Right? It could be dirty, but it can be new. Or it could be dirty. It could be, it could be dirty and it could be broken. Dirty and broken, right? Red and white, if it's the same. It could be French and Italian, right? The salad dressing, right? It could be wood and it could be metal. It can be gold and it can be silver, right? That's the one. Wedding ring, right? Wedding would be the adjective of purpose, and then ring, right? Wedding ring, wedding dress, whatever wedding. Okay, so let's continue with this. I think we can do some exercise with this. And here's just the description, right? Like we talked about. What is it used for? The purpose, right? What is it used for? The material. What is it made of? Obviously, we went over. This is an expensive. We have the examples there. So could you read these two examples, please?
Yes, teacher. This is an expensive, big, rectangular, black and silver Japanese metal and plastic recording machine. A lot of adjectives, teacher.
Yes, there are.
She has long curly hair.
Right. Just 1 and 2, right? 1 and 2. Now here, what we can see in the first sentence, right? We have the expensive, that's the opinion. The big, that's the size, right? The rectangular is the shape, right? The color is black and silver with an and because we have two colors, right? We have two colors. Japanese metal and plastic because we have two materials. And recording is the purpose. What is it? What the machine for what? For recording. Oh, it's a recording machine. That's how we. And then the machine, the noun, right? Machine is the noun. The others are adjectives. And normally with the adjectives, what do we use? We see always the verb to be to the adjective. That's so common. We should identify this and recognize when we use, when we give or make a description about something or someone. We usually use that with the verb to be, right? Talking about a person or a family or whatever. Right? I am Peruvian. We are Peruvian. Right? It is the time, right? Not 11:30 or 11:30. So we use the verb to be for all of those things, especially with the adjectives. We use them so much. All right, good. Let's go to some exercise. Now, with the adverbs, they usually talk about how something happens. All right, we put the Now, for the adverbs, we have to see the different types of adverbs. Now, this doesn't do it justice. I think we need another example. I think I have one that I prepared. All right, we know about the frequency adverbs. Right? Now, when a verb, in this case, I like this example. Sometimes a verb has two or more words, right? Can't, remember, doesn't smoke, has been stolen. We usually put the adverb after the first part of the verb, right? Can never remember. So that's something that we should practice in talking about the order of the words, right? So in the case of the verbs that have multiple words, right? Multi-word verbs, right? We put the adverb usually before the first part, right? Usually before the first part. Like the example, I can never remember his name, and doesn't usually smoke. Are you definitely going to the party tomorrow? Your car has been probably stolen. Has probably been stolen. Right? Has probably been stolen. Like that. Right? That's the one. Now for adverbs, I do have something about the order for that as well. Here, let's find that. Let's adverb. Okay, so we see here just from the dictionary definition, the word adverb, right, is it, right? It can be a noun. A word that adds meaning to a verb, right? Or it adds meaning to an adjective, or it adds meaning to an adverb. Basically, it gives more information about the verb, about the action. Gives a more description about the adjective, right? It gives it more information about the adjective, more detail, more specific. Another adverb, it gives more information about the adverb. It modifies the adverb. It modifies the adjective. It modifies the verb. Depending. Usually it's the verb, but sometimes it's the adjective. For example, we can say the example here, very hot. Here we have hot is an adjective, right? And very is the adverb, right? It's very hot. It's very hot. But we say very much, we have adverb. Okay? You see, it gives emphasis to the much. Very much. But the adjective here, hot, it's gradable. It can be very, it could be a little. It could be almost not. It's not hot. Negative. Right? Absolutely not. So we have different types. It depends how we use it, right? And normally we say that the frequency adverbs, I sometimes do, right? Now, but we have the types of adjectives here, you can see, right? The frequency adverbs, as we've already learned, and the examples, the adverbs of manner. How did it do it? How? Cheerfully, efficiently, painfully, carefully, slowly, badly, easily, well, not good. That's an adjective. Quickly, etc. Adverbs of time, now, yesterday. Adverbs of place, above, abroad, far, away, out, outside, behind, etc. Degree, right? Quite, entirely, very, right? There's the very. Just, deeply, barely. Let's see, rather is like saying very. Quite is like saying very. Too much, more than I like, more than I want, more than necessary. Too is like excess. Evaluation. Apparently, clearly, yeah. This when you're doing some evaluation, you're giving your opinion about something, and we use these adverbs in that sense. And the conjunctive adverbs, yes, sure, you're giving your explanations, right?
Okay.
Accordingly, besides, equally, further, you're concluding, basically, right? You're concluding. You're giving the conclusion. You're giving the reasons, right? There's conjunctive. Besides, I'm too tired. You're giving the reasoning, right? Furthermore, right? And then we have obviously the positions: mid, front, the mid, and the end, right? Like the frequency can be in all three, but the manner also can be in all three. The time and place, of time and place in the beginning, of time in the middle and at the end, right? Time and place can be at the beginning in the front position, right? Adverbs of certainty, perhaps, can be in the beginning and in the middle. The middle is after the subject, right? We have already, right, eaten, and this is we have eaten, and this is the first after the first part, right? We have this verb has two. We've eaten, two parts, multi-words. So we have already eaten. Then we have to include already, right? That's what they were talking about before. So I'm going to share this with you so you can take a look. It's important to see the different types. We're not going to have to do all of it now. But there, I can share the link in the chat, and we can go to the exercises now. All right, then let's change the view. Going back to our text, and yes, that was to complement this, right? We see another example there. Can, remember, because can talks about an ability or the possibility, or in a different context, maybe permission or request, right? Does talks about an action, smoke in this case. Are in the continuous, going, right? It's not the future, because here it's going to go, and that would be the future. But we can use the future with the present continuous. Now in the intermediate too, we can talk about these differences and these other uses for the grammar. Go deeper, give more meaning. All right, now when we compare, she speaks perfect English, and that's an adjective and the noun. The adjective perfect and the noun English, right? And verb, object, adverb is the verb speaks, the object English, and the adverb perfectly. Right, we see that example here. Right? Perfect English, speaks English perfectly. That's something that we get confused a lot, because it was like we want to mix it or something. Perfectly English, we want to say no, don't do it, because that's not perfect English, right? You can speak perfect English, right? Or you can speak English perfectly. Both are possible. Both are okay, but yes, you can't mix and match. You can't be perfectly English or English perfect. No, perfectly it has to be if it's after. Right? Right? Like now we have some examples, like in the Jamboard that I shared on the third or the fourth page. If you go to the right, they have the examples of adverb and adverb and adjective. All right, and you can see that here. Let me just show that briefly. Relative positions. This is just the spelling, and here, this is what I mean. Okay, so here are some examples of the adverb plus the adverb. All alone, right now, quite enough, pretty well, only just, right? Dead ahead, almost certainly, all along. These are adverb and adverb, right? They modified the adverb. Right? Now here it's an adverb extremely or very, and an adjective hot, right? Or cold, fairly cold, rather cold. The adverb and the adjective, right? Extremely. Now freezing, no, because freezing is absolute. It's an absolute adjective. It's not gradable. You cannot put very or rather, right? Before boiling, the absolute. That's why there's nothing here, right? But hot, yes, you can make it very hot or not very hot. That's the difference. Okay, good. So then from there, that's enough theory. I think we can go to the book and do this practice. All right. Yes. Well, you identify the difference, right? It could be an There are some exceptions. The adverb, the adjective, and the adverb, they have the same form, but in the context, you can see the adjective good and well. When they ask you a question, "How are you?" Your answer is, "I am well." That's formal. If you say, "I am good," that's not technically correct, even though I understand. In informal English, yes, we can say that, because informal English, "I feel good," that's okay in informal English, right? But really, it should be, "I feel well," because it's talking about feeling the verb, right? So, all right, now that's it. Let's go to the practice. Now this will not yet, because that has nothing to do with what we were talking about. That shouldn't be here. Let's do some adjectives.
Okay.
Number one, it says complete the sentences, placing the adjectives in the correct order. So we have 3 adjectives: German, industrial, and large.
Okay. Hamburg is a German. No, Hamburg is a large industrial and German city. Because yours
German
is
industrial city, because industrial, let's identify the type of adjective. So this is the size, right? This is the size, right? This is the origin. Yes, this is the origin. This is the purpose. That's what it is the purpose, right? It's not the condition, but it's the purpose. What is it for? What type of city? It's an industrial city, right? It's an industrial city. It would be the purpose adjective, right? That's why it goes. The purpose adjective is always next to the noun, city, right? What type of city? Industrial city, right? It's a vacation city, or it's a gambling city like Las Vegas, right? It's a very technological city. Go to Singapore. Now, what about the next one? In this case, modern is not the purpose, is the condition. Modern is the condition. And the pronunciation is island, right? The pronunciation, there is no S in the pronunciation. Spelling, yes, the S, right? But the pronunciation is only island, right? Island. The other one, island, no. It's for the spelling, yes, island, but for the pronunciation, island. Small, right? The size.
small modern island.
Right, exactly. Small, modern island city, republic in the south. Right? In the south. Yeah. What type of republic? It's an island republic. Yes, it's another one. If it was a continent, right, it would be a different type of island, different purpose. All right, what's the next one? My hometown, where I was born. I was born in this town, my hometown.
It's a little.
Yeah. Wait, but first we have, is pleasant an opinion? That's an opinion. For me, it was pleasant. For you, it was terrible, for example. So yeah.
Okay. The opinion is first with pleasant. Pleasant.
Pleasant opinion, and then
Little.
little. The size.
Farming
Farming
is
is the condition.
the purpose.
The purpose, right? The purpose. Farming. Good. Exactly. We got the idea. All right. Now let's see the next one. This is a blank. Beautiful wooden, round, large wooden. What is it?
Round.
All right, but
What is
that's
the meaning of round, teacher?
round like a circle. Another way we could say round is circular. Circular is very similar to round. The shape of a circle.
Okay. I think this is a beautiful. First one. Beautiful large. Beautiful large. Or
size and then shape. Yes.
Yes, round. Beautiful large round and wooden table.
The material and then table. There's nothing else here. Table would be the last one. That's the one. But you have to practice it a little bit to, actually, because normally it's just 3 or 4 maximum. If we have more than that, make another sentence. And
Okay.
like that. Sorrento.
Charm. Wait. Charming is
Charming. Charming is encantador, right? Charming.
Yes, but
Right.
it's the purpose.
No, not exactly. That's an opinion. For you, it was charming. For me, it was annoying, right? So it could be that's an opinion. For me, it's annoying. For me, it was so interesting. That's an opinion, right? Not because it finishes in ing. No, that's an adjective. Su tipo, that depends, right? Charming, yes, it's an opinion adjective. Right. And what's the next one?
Okay. Sorrento is a charming Italian summer.
Summer, exactly, because that's the purpose, I guess, right? The purpose of the resort, only in the summer. Yeah, that's the purpose of summer. Good. That was good. Yeah, you got the idea. Now here, it's opened. It's opened. Let's complete this with some adjectives in three adjectives of different type.
There, yeah. There is ugly, ugly, tall, alta,
And
ugly, tall,
ugly, tall,
tall.
maybe the
French
origin.
girl.
Yes, there we go. French girl. Okay. Good example. Now, is blank painting. That's the noun. Noun is the painting. It finishes in ing, but it's a noun, right? You see, it's a noun. It's not an adjective. That's a noun. There you go. Let's not confuse that. That's why it's important in this case to see the different parts, different uses.
That is amazing. So it's possible to do.
It's an adjective. It's an opinion. Sure. That
Opinion,
is
yes.
an amazing. Right?
Amazing. Large. Broken. Possible. Amazing, large, broken. Italian painting. Italian painting.
Italian painting. Yeah, sure. The origin, right? The origin is closer to the P, right? And then purpose, right? Yeah. Good. The condition and then the purpose, the origin, right? And then number 3, we are blank colleagues. Now the way we pronounce this, meaning my co-workers. Another way we can say that is we say co-workers, because people have a hard time sometimes saying colleagues. It's ka-a, right? Ah. Leagues is like this double E, right? G, Z with a Z, right? Colleagues, right? Z, colleagues, and or co-workers, which is the synonym. It's a synonym, right? But the pronunciation is colleagues, right? Gz. Ni siquiera se pronuncia la G, la UE, right? Not gues, no, just gz. Gz, colleagues, gz, gz, the frente, right? That's the one.
Okay.
Colleagues. Anyway, what about the adjectives now?
We are okay. We are all friendly. Possible teacher.
Sure.
All friendly workers.
Just work colleagues.
Okay.
Work colleagues. Because the other one is co-worker. It's a different one. It significa lo mismo, but the structure is different. Co-worker and work colleagues together. Primero work and después colleagues. And the other one is co and then worker. You see? That's the difference. Both are the same, pero significan lo mismo, right?
Okay, teacher, and it's possible to put all friendly job colleagues?
No. Job colleagues doesn't really work. It's for work. With work, the combination goes well. Work colleagues, right? Work colleagues. Old friendly work colleagues, sure. Work, job, not really. Now, both job and work can be a noun and can be a verb, right? So we have to see that context. We should look in the dictionary if you see the definition of work as a verb, and then you can see work as a noun, the same as job, right? You have to see job as a noun only, and as a job, you don't job something. It's not a verb, but it can be a noun only. That's the difference between work and noun. Sometimes we work and job, sometimes we confuse it because work can be a noun and work can be a verb, and job can only be a noun, right? And that sometimes gets confusing, right? Did you get me?
Okay.
Yes?
Okay, sure.
Okay, good. So let's continue this.
Lima is large, dirty, and traffic city.
Okay, good, large. No, but traffic isn't really an adjective, is it? Traffic is not really. So you could say the condition.
How can I say, teacher, que tiene mucho tráfico? Some adverb.
Oh, it's or gridlocked. Gridlock is when it's like atracado, but nobody goes in. It's sitting there for a long time. It's gridlocked. But another way we can say it instead of gridlock, which is one, cuando está atracado, there's nothing to do, nobody can go. Quisieron meterse, like sometimes when the buses goes here and the other bus too, and the taxis, and it gets all, and there's like nothing. The police has to go, okay, you back up, and you in that case. But in another way is dense traffic is the term. I mean, if you want to talk about it, yeah, not using it as a thing, but dense traffic or heavy traffic. That's the idea that you want to express. Right? You could say with heavy traffic. That would be another way to express that idea. Lima is a city with heavy traffic. Llano City. Right? Lima is a city. You could say if it is a city with heavy traffic. At the end, it would be, or it has heavy traffic, or with heavy traffic. It has dense traffic. It has, right? It has dense traffic. All right, let's go. Let's continue with this to the next one.
The horse is a beautiful, large animal.
Yes. Now here you didn't really give me. Yes, you did. All right. Now in this case, what we have to do, the time we have time for this exercise, is change them as an adjective to an adverb.
Quietly.
Quiet. Reasonable. The pronunciation. This is
Reasonably.
quiet, right? Yes. Reasonably. Reasonably. Bad.
Badly.
Badly. Terrible.
Terribly. I don't know.
Terribly. Terribly. Yeah. Terribly.
Completely.
Completely. Serious.
Seriously.
Seriously. Extreme.
Extremely.
Extremely. Slight means a little bit.
Slightly.
Slightly. Happy.
Happily.
Yeah, we changed the Y to I in this case, right? And then here, possible.
Possibly.
Possibly, right? Possibly. Possibly. Right? Emphasis on the pa, right? That's, we should notice, right? Where the emphasis in the pronunciation. Possibly. Happily. Slightly, right? Extreme, in this case, extremely on the tree. Seriously on the sick. Reasonably on the ri, right? Reasonably. Oh. All right, good. What else do we have? I think there's time for this, but we could do these. These are not so bad. So what would be the order?
Old yellow German car. No, boring old physics teacher. One is ugly, slim, British snowboarder.
Yes, ugly is the opinion. Slim is the shape. British is the nationality. And snowboarder.
Wow.
It's the noun, right?
Yes. Next one. Beautiful shoe. I don't know what is bow.
Is where you eat the cereal. Where you eat the cereal is in the bowl. That's a bowl.
Taza?
Tazón. Like the soup, where you eat the soup, right?
Oh, okay.
In the bowl.
Beautiful round sugar bowl.
Sugar is the purpose. But what is it used for? For sugar. Sugar bowl.
big round reading lamp. What's it?
Big round reading lamp. Big and then round, not rounded then big. So, yes, that's right.
That one. Old happy German woman.
All right, happy. Is that an opinion or is that a condition? Condition, right? Yeah, that's a condition that we can say. So yes, old. Because I always hear happy old, right? Happy old German woman. It would be like that. Happy old German woman. Old and happy German woman. Yeah, maybe it could be both. And that would be okay. It seems like in that case, it could be both. Because you could be happy, it could be an opinion, or it could be a condition. It's debatable, maybe. But, shit. All right. Now, what about number 7?
Large. Large rectangular. No, heavy.
Oh, yes, because of the opinion. For me,
Yes.
it's heavy. For you, maybe it's nothing, right?
And heavy, large rectangular blue truck.
Definitely the opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 8, black nice dog poodle. Poodle is the little dog, right? Poodle dog.
Nice black dog pole. No, dog.
Poodle dog.
Dog. Poodle.
Dog
Dog
of
is
the
no.
the noun,
Yeah.
right? Sure.
Yes.
Nice black
Nice black poodle dog. Yes.
dog. We're almost finished. we have time also, but yes, we're almost finished. So let's finish.
Fat crazy man.
Easy fat.
No, fat Argentinian. Fat crazy man. No, fat crazy Argentinian man.
That crazy Argentinian man. Or crazy fat Argentinian man. Both, I think, could work in that case also. Crazy could be an opinion. Crazy could be a condition. Right? So it depends on the intention. Right? And then here, dirty big basement dark.
Big dark.
Basement, sótano, right?
Yes. Dirty big dark basement? No. Dirty is like a condition, no, maybe an opinion.
Big is an opinion. Or size. Is the size. No, it's an opinion, but it's the size. Is the size.
Okay. Big.
Here's the secret. They're both conditions. What do you do? Both dirty and dark are conditions. They're both conditioned adjectives.
Big, dirty, and dark?
Exactly right. Dark basement. Big, dirty, and dark basement. Yes, that's right.
Okay. Perfect.
With the comma here. Very good.